Welcome back to cooking every single recipe in the official Stardew Valley cookbook. Today we're making Autumn's Bounty, Vegetable Medley, and Red Plate. Don't forget to subscribe and don't vote for to make next in the comments below because this is the last recipe. So you know what that means. Next one is the big one. It's the big video. Yippee! You're gonna start this recipe by peeling 8 ounces of edible pumpkin, such as Long Island cheese pumpkin or Cinderella pumpkin. You're going to peel it and cut into 3/4 inch cubes. Then you're going to do the same thing to 8 ounces of sweet potato. I just realized they both said 8 ounces. I made significantly more, I did significantly more than the recipe asked for. Whoops. But you're going to peel and also cut the sweet potato into 3/4 inch pieces. At least I think I did more than 8 ounces. I'm real bad at guesstimating weight. Next, you're going to coarsely chop 1/2 of a large yellow onion. And then you're going to take 3 cloves of garlic and you're going to just cut off the ends, but otherwise keep them whole and unpeeled. And finally, you're going to put that all into a 9x13 baking dish, along with 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 3/4 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, and salt and pepper. You're going to mix that all together and then put it in the oven at 375 for 50 to 60 minutes, stirring several times. While that's in the oven, we're going to go on to the vegetable medley, which you're going to take 6 garlic cloves and you're going to peel all of them. And then you're going to thinly slice 2 garlic cloves and keep the other 4 whole. Put the 2 garlic cloves that you thinly sliced into a bowl and set aside for now. Then you're going to grab 1/2 cup of pitted Castelvetrano olives, torn in 1/2 or thirds. Mine weren't pitted, and I tried to pit them with a cherry pitter, and it just squished, so I ended up having to cut them up like you would mangoes. Then you're going to take your olives and your garlic, and you're going to put them in a glass pie dish, along with 2 long strips of lemon zest and 2 long strips of orange zest, plus 2 large fresh thyme sprigs, and finally 12 ounces of cherry tomatoes on the vine. You're then going to top it with 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. While you are doing this, you're also going to peel and cut into 1/2 inch wedges 12 ounces of golden beets. Then, in a 2-quart baking dish, you're going to add 3 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, 3 tablespoons of water, a tablespoon of coriander seeds lightly crushed, black pepper, salt, and your golden beets, and you're going to stir them up. Now what you're going to do, I'd recommend using a microwave oven unless you have 2 ovens. You're going to add tin foil over top of the beets, and you're going to put them both the beets and the tomatoes in the oven or microwave oven, like what I did, at 375 for 30 minutes until the tomatoes start to split. Then, at this point, once the tomatoes come out of the oven, you're going to put in your cabbage. I'll get to that soon. Once your tomatoes come out of the oven, put in the cabbage, and you're going to remove the tin foil from the beets, and you're going to then put it in for another 30 minutes until they become fork tender, and don't forget to stir them. I forgot, and they didn't really tender as you would want them to. Finally, onto the red plate. You're going to take 1 small red cabbage, and you're going to cut them into 1-inch wedges with the core intact. Make sure to actually cut them properly in half, unlike what I did, which was I missed the core when I was cutting in half. And then you're going to put them all on a parchment paper lined baking sheet, and you're going to coat each wedge on all sides with sesame oil, salt and pepper, and put them in the oven at 400 for 20 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 20 minutes, about 20 minutes. And you're going to do that after the tomatoes are already out of the oven. With home stretch, you're going to cut up 1 cup of lightly packed leafy beet greens, or I used Swiss chard because my beets didn't have greens. And you're going to shred 4 ounces of fontina cheese. This was Gouda, I think. Now with your pumpkin and potatoes out of the oven, you're going to squeeze the garlic into a food processor. Add all of your vegetables, and then you're going to add in a 1/3 cup plain full-fat Greek yogurt, a 1/4 cup of tahini, and 2 tablespoons of water, 1.5 tablespoon apple cider vinegar, a 1/3 cup of coarsely chopped smoked almonds, and you're going to pulse that, or you're going to blend that until smooth, and you'll top with pomegranate seeds. Now, in a cast iron skillet over medium heat, you're going to heat up 2 or 3 tablespoons of olive oil and add in your sliced garlic. Once that garlic is tender, you're going to add in your leafy beet greens, and you're going to mix that until it becomes wilted. Once it's wilted, you'll stir into the beets once they're done cooking. Once the beets are done cooking as well, you're going to add in 1/2 to 3/4 teaspoons of honey. Alright, now you're in a medium saucepan. You're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter, and you're going to melt that, and then you're going to add in 2.5 tablespoons of flour, and you're going to whisk until it's no longer clumpy. Then you're going to add a cup of whole milk at room temperature and whisk until it's bubbly. Add your cheese turn off the heat, add your cheese along with a tablespoon and a half of white miso paste, or just miso paste. No, white miso paste. And you're going to mix that until it is smooth and good, and you're going to put the lid on to keep it warm. Finally, for the last dip, you're going to chop up 2 tablespoons of scallions, and mix it together with the remaining tablespoon of miso paste, and 2 teaspoons of honey, along with 6 tablespoons of butter. Oh no, 1/2 cup of butter. You're going to, at room temperature, you're going to whisk those together and to make your final final dip, and then you're going to drizzle your cheese sauce over top of the red cabbage wedges, and top with with seaweed snack sheets cut into thin bite-sized strips. And you're supposed to have breakfast radishes next to it. I completely missed that part. Whoops. And you're finally done. This recipe took me 4 hours to make, but I think those 4 hours were worth it because it was quite good. If I were to remake this, I would do just one of them. I would not do all 3 of them again all in one go. But I definitely think my favorite was the cabbages. The cabbage with the cheese sauce on top was amazing. I loved that. The dip that goes with it was also really good, which kind of surprised me because I didn't really expect miso, butter, honey, and green onions to taste so good. But highly recommend. Would not recommend doing all 3 in one at once. It took me like all day. I started at 3, I think, and we had dinner at 7. So it might have been like 3:30, closer to 4, but still. It took me 3 or 4 hours to do this recipe, but I think it was worth it. Very yummy. Highly recommend. 8 or 10. Yeah, 8 or 10.